Healing Light takes you on a journey where you'll explore the nuances of energy. You'll visit the angelic realms and study the ancient wisdom and teachings of spirituality. We want you to reach within and discover the magnificent being that you came here to be. We help shine God's divine healing light by bringing love, light, and blessings into your world. And now, here is the host of Healing Light, Terry Van Horn.
For being with us today. Now, for those who aren't as familiar with me, I'm considered to be a spiritual mentor as well as a Reiki master healer and teacher. I specialize in working with distant healing, with color, crystal, and vibrational healing, and I do intuitive readings and counseling. I also have the incredible privilege of being like a spokesperson for a consortium of spiritual beings that are called the Fifth Element. Now, this group is just incredible. They bring in so many beautiful messages of love and light. And part of that we're going to hear about later on today when we talk about 2016. If you want to know more about me, you can find me on my website at healinglightonline.com, or you can hear me or find me on Facebook, keywords Healing Light Online. And I'm also on Twitter. Now, today we're going to talk about 2016 and what the energies of 2016 have for us. So let's talk a little bit about what, on a numerological area, 2016 means. And really, it's all about the year of spiritual connections. 2016 is going to be a time where we're able to really connect much more closely and deeply with the divine. It's going to be a great way to really get information from spirit, from our higher self, to connect with our angels. Some of the key words for this time are completion, perfection, reward, compassion, brotherhood, spirituality, perfectionist, forgiveness, multi-talented, and community service. Now, we have been going through a whirlwind of energies over the past few days. You know, what has happened is that on the 21st, we had our winter solstice. And the energies from the solstice actually created like a portal for us. And it's helping us so that we can expand in a lot of different ways. Now, part of this is helping us so that we can connect more intuitively. It really gets us started on this road to 2016. This solstice is a portal, and it's helping us so that we can move much more inward, much deeper, and we can connect with love. You know, this is a time and a season when everybody's supposed to be all about love and happy, but, you know, a lot of times it's really not for people. And so what we need to do is to let go of all of those things that are holding us back. We need to let go of the anger, the fear, the stress, you know, the sadness, any hatred, any animosity that we have. Just let it go. And when we do that, it sets the stage for many other beautiful things to come in. You know, because if you're all cluttered up with all sorts of negative stuff, then you can't bring in anything beautiful and wonderful. So we need to do that. And with the solstice, I mean, this is the time when we do that for ourselves, for everyone around us, and for the world. So take that time and that energy. You know, even though it was a week ago, that energy's still here with us, and it's going to expand over the next couple of weeks. So it will help us. The main thing with the solstice is that it does remind us that even though we have the darkness from the days, we're always going to come up on the light of a new dawn. You know, as I said, this is a portal. It's a gate, and it's open now. So this is going to put us in a position where we are ready to plant the seeds for rebirth of the light. Now, that can be considered a lot of different things. It can be the rebirth of light, as in daylight, or it can be the rebirth of light within us. That's the key. And we need to use this energy to connect and to expand with this, because it is highly symbolic, but it also gets us started for some wonderful, exciting things that are coming up. So even though it might be the shortest day of the year for everybody in the Northern Hemisphere, it is a very important and powerful time. It also helps us so that we can really connect and balance the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So remember that if we want different aspects of the world to change and to move forward, we're going to have to balance ourselves and to move forward too. So we have a lot of evolutionary and revolutionary energies working with us right now. We have to make the best of all of it. We need to be inspired by the power of life and light, the possibilities that we hope for while we stand in the dark, because we know that that dark is going to be reborn into a very powerful light. Now let's talk a little bit about the full moon that followed up on Christmas Day. Now, this one really highlights our need to balance our own personal needs as well as our accomplishments. You know, sometimes we really feel like we need to accomplish a lot, but we really need to kick back and relax. Well, that's what we're discussing right now. This is what we're talking about. Sometimes you need to kick back and relax and nurture yourself. This is the time for that. You know, it's a great time to be with friends and family. It's a great time to celebrate. But this full moon is all about meditation and retreat, getting away from all the noise of the world, getting away from the TV, the phone, the computer, all of that, and meditating and connecting. This gives us a chance to really go within and connect with that magical energy of God and Spirit. So, you know, spend some time doing that. I know holiday time is busy, but this is important. This is the time when you're really going to connect better, higher, and deeper than you ever have before. Blocks that you may have had are going to disappear. I know because this has already been happening for me during this week, where there were blocks in certain areas. Now they're being moved. They're expanding and they're growing. So, you know, take this time to use it, to connect within, and to really get those messages from Spirit. This is your time to grow, expand, to nourish yourself, and to really nurture that soul light within you. That's who you are. That's who we all are, actually, because we are all really one. And this is what we need to focus on. This is what we need to do. Now, we've got so many things going on. We've got all of this with the solstice portal. We had the full moon. And we have got some brutal solar flares coming and hitting right about now. We had a huge solar flare a couple of days ago, and it's taken, it takes about a day, day and a half for them to come through. But it is really powerful, and it is hitting the earth right now. So those who are sensitive may have felt it the last couple of days. I have, and it's been kind of wiping me out energetically. But know that it's going to be over, probably going to drag on till about Sunday. But just know that it is, that's what it is. And even though it's going to kind of drain you a little bit, what it really is going to do is to propel you forward energetically so that anything that you work on, you focus on, you're going to manifest. So you need to pay attention to what your intentions are. And this is the perfect time, with all of this energy building up to be released for New Year's, is to write down those intentions. Now, you don't have to write down every little teeny tiny aspect of it and every little teeny tiny detail. But what you do need to do is to write down what you want to accomplish, what your dreams are, what do you want to manifest this year. Right now is the perfect time to do this. You are an amazing spiritual being, and you can have, you can manifest just like the angels can. The only thing that's stopping us is our own mind. So do this. Write down the list of those things that you most want to manifest right now. Those things that you want to do and accomplish for 2016. And as you do, keep that list around and let's focus on it. And I guarantee you, if you keep working on it, it's going to happen before the end of the year.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of the Inspired Parenting radio show, where every week we bring you empowering information from the diverse fields of conscious parenting, education, neuroscience, consciousness, health, and metaphysics to support you in nurturing the best in your children. So if you're interested in understanding what shapes your children's minds, spirits, and hearts, join me every Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and prepare to be inspired.
Do you have time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth Radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Healing light. So I wanted to kind of kick off some of the prediction info with this beautiful piece that I found, and it was written by Ding Ming Dao, and it's from the 365 Dao Daily Meditations. And I think this is just really beautiful, and it's perfect for the new year. All we need is the morning. As long as there is sunrise, then there is the possibility that we can face all of our misfortunes, celebrate all of our blessings, and live all of our endeavors as human beings. Spirituality is something that has become necessary in these troubled times. Yet it is inherently superfluous. We need it to remind ourselves, to bolster ourselves, and to integrate ourselves, to fulfill ourselves. If we could simply acknowledge the mystery of night and the glory of morning, we would need neither civilization nor spirituality. At its simplest, life begins with dawn. That in itself is blessing enough. All else becomes immeasurable. At dawn, kneel down and give thanks for this wonderful event. We may think mornings are so common that they're unworthy of veneration, but do you realize that most places in the cosmos do not have mornings? This daily event is our supreme goodness. Greet the dawn. That is your miracle to witness. That is the ultimate beauty, the sacredness. That is your gift from heaven, and it is your omen of prophecy. That is knowledge that life is not futile. That is enlightenment. It's your meaning in life. It's your directive, your comfort. The solemnity of duty. That is inspiration for compassion. And that is the light of the ultimate. I just thought that was so beautiful and wanted to share that with you because, we have a choice. We have a choice every single day as to how we want to conduct our day in our life. And we have to choose it. Do we want to see each day as a miracle? Or do we want to face each day with, oh crap, I have to get up now? It's a choice. And regardless of what your choice is, that's going to shape and form your day. So we really do need to work on it, to expand it, and to, use this energy as a way to really connect with ourselves and with spirit. Now, I want to remind you that I am going to be doing personal readings online. If you have a question, go on my Facebook page and you can ask. And when we get to the end of this, if I have time, I will be more than happy to do that for you. Also, later on tonight, just 2 hours after this is over, I'm going to be doing a class on Learn It Live, which will be similar to this, but I will be doing private readings for everyone in the class. So either way, you can find me and get your reading for the new year. Now, I went on the internet, and as I was preparing for this, I thought, I'm going to see what everybody else's predictions are. Not that I couldn't come up with stuff myself, but, I wanted to kind of see what was going on. And, some of it was pretty outrageous. I saw where somebody even predicted that Kim Jong-un is going to have naked photos released. That was an image I did not need to have. But, there are all sorts of things. So what I thought was that I would just do some general predictions of information that kind of popped in. A lot of times what happens for me is that once I get the energy of having a conversation with someone or the energy of reading something, then other things start popping into my head. So that's kind of where I went and how I got some of this information. I was reading what other people were saying, and then all of a sudden, information would pop into my head. It may not have anything to do with what I was reading, but, that's the way Spirit does it, and I've just finally figured it out. So, this first one is one that I really hate. I'll be honest, and I will be working diligently to make sure that this one does not happen. And that is that there's going to be another massive earthquake in the Himalayas. This time, there's going to be more destruction, unfortunately, more deaths, and that there probably is going to be a dam or two that burst. Now, we can stop this, and I am going to dedicate a tremendous amount of time towards that, because the Himalayas is one of the most beautiful areas in the world. I've never had the pleasure to be there yet, but it's on the list. And these people are just wonderful. They have very little. They don't need to lose more. Okay, another one. There's going to be, I'm not sure if it's going to be with the same earthquake. There are going to be a lot of earthquakes and things going on. But whenever I asked the angels if it was going to be the same one or if it's going to be a different one, they were telling me that there's going to be another one in the general region that is going to really affect Japan. That they're going to have a huge problem with earthquakes, and that they're even going to lose a small island or two because of the environmental changes. Now, part of this is going to be earthquake, and part of it is going to be a disruption because of the ice sheets. They're going to shift a little bit. Water's going to get a little higher. Things aren't going to go well for an aspect of Japan. Another one is going to be that there is a comet or an asteroid that most astronomers are not really going to see. This is going to be one that's a little bit sneaky. It's going to come our direction to the point where I believe that a lot of people are actually going to be able to see this one in the sky. And they're going to think of, every sci-fi, end of the world movie that they've ever seen. And be assured that that's going to happen. Actually, this is going to be a near miss. But it's going to shake up the world so much that I'm really getting that a lot of society will make a few changes and rethink some of their priorities about what's going on. It reminds me, actually, of what happened when Apollo 13, that mission went south and the astronauts were stranded up there. And the entire world came together. I mean, it wasn't just the U.S. Everybody in the world just stopped everything and prayed for them. It was a totally different time. But that's what this is going to be. This is going to be one of those big, earth-changing events, because it is going to affect so many people, in that they're going to see it. It's going to basically just scare the heck out of them. And I think it's going to get a lot of us on track. And that in itself is not a bad thing. And it's going to be a mess anyway. Now, this isn't any big surprise to anyone, but the refugees from Syria and every place else are going to continue to cause tremendous problems all over the world. A lot of countries are going to deny access for them because they just can't support them anymore. Also, because of the fear of terrorism. And when you've got refugees that are, young males coming alone, then countries have to ask questions about that. So a lot of people are going to be denied help because of this. And just because countries are totally overloaded. Because of all of these things that are happening with the refugees, the Muslims, the terrorism and all that, there's going to be some rioting in the streets. There are going to be more mosques that are burnt down. This is mostly going to be in Europe because they are reaching crisis, right now. But it's also going to be in America a little bit. Now, to take a totally different tact, um, I don't know where this came from, but it just kind of popped out there. Um, the Prince Philip, the Queen of England's husband, is going to be seriously ill, and he's going to, face some really, really bad health challenges. Also, the thing that really surprised me is that Queen Elizabeth is going to continue her rule. She's like the longest reigning monarch, but that she's going to outlive Prince Charles. So she will be passing her crown down to her grandson. Like I said, this one was just like totally out of left field, but they come as they come. Let's see. We also are getting information that there might be an attempted coup in China. The China economy and currency is going to continue to collapse. And so people are going to want to change, and that's going to be the way that they try to achieve it. Not so good, but, that's the way they do it sometimes. India's economy is actually going to surge forward, and there are going to be new trade agreements between the UK and India. So that would be something very good for those countries. Now, got a little bit on medical, which I always like because I think that that's important. And let's see, one is that there are going to be, I know we're dealing with problems on a medical level with a lot of the refugees bringing back diseases that different countries have completely eradicated. But there, somehow, somewhere, we're going to end up with 2 ancient plagues that come back. And they are really going to cause some problems for some doctors and obviously the patients. So they're going to be working on that. You're going to have a lot of problems with vaccinations because people want to get them for.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
Hello, I'm Miriam Knight of New Consciousness Review, inviting you to my new show where I interview the rising stars of the conscious awakening. We'll explore the many faces of consciousness and action and intriguing perspectives on life, the universe, and everything in between. Join us each Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern on the Rising Stars Show.
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Elia, in the circle on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Hey there, this is Terry Van Horn, and you're listening to Healing Light. Tonight we're talking about predictions for 2016. And what I was just talking about was that we're going to have not one, but 2 ancient plagues are going to come back and have a little bit of resurgence. And, I'm not sure, honestly, if these are going to be an organic resurgence or if someone has been messing with, genes and cells and, live viruses or something. So I'm not sure which way it's going to be. But there's going to be a little bit of panic ensuing because people not only are terrified of the plagues, but, some other diseases that are being brought in to countries where they've been eradicated for many years because of a lot of the refugees that are coming in. So this has been a problem. It's going to continue to be a problem for countries and doctors because of, just the volumes of people and, the fact that medical practices are different from different countries. So we're going to have a lot of things coming through into the U.S. and into Europe primarily. So there are going to be a lot of people really digging and scratching for vaccines and to try to stop these issues. On a good positive note, medical research is going to have some major breakthroughs in cancer research, organ transplants, and 3D technology. Now, what I'm being told is that they're going to discover some certain aspects of cancer is kind of like one of the keys to unlocking and destroying it. And I just told you almost everything I know about cancer. So they're going to find this. I don't know if it's an enzyme or what it is. The word enzyme just popped into my head. So that could be it. But some good things are going to be happening there. Also with organ transplants, they're going to be working on some ways that we can do this and it will be easier. Now when someone needs a transplant, they have to go on a list. And then basically someone else has to agree to donate organs, die healthy, and then their organs go to the next person on the list. Many people die because they just don't have enough organs to go around. And they wait on this list forever and, their time never comes up. So some things are going to be changing with this. And doctors are getting or will be getting to the point where they can actually create healthy organs pretty much in the lab that they will be able to use for anyone. So we don't have to worry about blood type. We don't have to worry about rejection. We don't have to worry about all of those things that make it so hard to get a transplant. So I'm getting that a lot of that's going to change, and it's going to be a huge improvement for many people. Also with 3D technology, and that could be part of the organ transplant aspect of it. It's maybe that they're able to improve 3D technology so that they can actually start working on organs and bones and things like that. But they are going to continue to improve 3D technology so that, we can really do a lot more for people. Procedures are going to be much less invasive. They're going to have shorter recovery times. And, it's almost going to be like in Star Trek where they just put the decoder up there and they fix you. Now, I've also was told that we're going to have DNA research is going to be jumping by leaps and bounds. And what the scientists are finding is that there are going to be more ways to combat diseases that don't really depend on drugs with all the negative side effects. Now, I have no clue what that means. And I have no clue about how they're doing it or anything else. I just would see, visually, I would see a strand of DNA. I would see, obviously, really blown up, and a needle going in, injecting it with something to help the resistance so that, the person would get well. So, not sure exactly what or how that's going to happen, but that was one of the things that I got during the whole process. Now, this one is a no-brainer, but I'm getting that there are several different sweeteners and some other things that are used in food, mostly chemical kind of related things, that are going to be conclusively proven to be a cause of cancer. Now, I know that people use sweeteners for a lot of different reasons, and they use preservatives and all sorts of things in the food. Um, Try not to use as much. Try to kind of cut back on that a little bit so that you don't have it. You know, sugar isn't nearly as bad as all the other things that you could put into your drink that can have carcinogens in it. So that's one of the things that I was getting, is that they are going to find some things and prove without a doubt that they all cause cancer. Another great thing, though, is that spirituality is going to begin to replace many forms of traditional medicine, because more people are going to start understanding a lot more about energy and energy work. Now, that is really cool. I love that. Different forms of energy work are more mainstream, and it's going to keep being mainstream. People are going to be really focused on energy in all of its forms this year, because we're going to be affected so much by, like, the solar activity, a lot of solar flares. The sun is going to be like an angry teenager this year, and it's just going to be throwing stuff off all over the place. So we need to be prepared for that. But because of things like this, and all the weather disruptions and everything, people are going to understand and start focusing on energy. And when they start focusing on that, they're going to start going towards energy healing. So that in itself will be a really good thing. But we are going to have a lot of solar activity, and it does cause problems, okay? It causes extreme weather. We're going to have more volcanic eruptions. So that is not going to be good. Some of the droughts, because of the El Nino and everything, some of the droughts are going to be a little bit worse, particularly like in California and the western U.S. Water is going to become a really precious commodity in California. So, even the movie stars and celebrities will not have pretty green lawns anymore. Okay, here is one that, you can laugh at me. You can laugh out loud. I don't care. This one, I think it's hilarious too, in a sense, in a very perverted way. There are going to be more planes that vanish. We're going to have some more planes disappear, kind of like the Malaysian Airlines did. I think part of it is going to be because of energy vortexes. And they're going to get into these vortexes, particularly with the solar flares and everything else, and it's going to mess with them. Now, that is not the funny part. The funny part was that I kept getting over and over and really loud was a train. So, how a train goes poof all of a sudden on the tracks, I don't know. But I swear, they were like screaming at me whenever I was typing the part about the planes. They were screaming train also. Now, in the U.S., got to go back to, our stuff. Unemployment is going to continue to soar, okay? Things are not going to be great. From that standpoint, with the economy, there will be kind of like a financial meltdown. We are going to have, maybe some panic and some runs on banks. Unfortunately, we're in a cycle right now where people who are rich are getting richer, the poor are getting poorer, and the middle class is disappearing. And that's going to continue to cause some problems. Also, the U.S. stock market is going to go through a huge correction. There are going to be a lot of losses in this for everybody. Now, this is going to be similar to the stock market crash of 1929, but it's not going to be quite as bad or quite as sudden. That one was just like instantaneous. This one's going to be a little bit, I see it more as a slope rather than a complete drop off if you're looking at a chart. Now, along with that, gold prices are going to fall, but they're going to skyrocket because everybody's going to want to invest in gold because they're worried about, the dollar. Another thing is that people in the U.S. are going to be very worried about the possibility of martial law because of all of this and because of problems with race relations. It's not necessarily going to happen, but there could be some fears and some, people going and threatening about that, but don't worry about it. Okay, we'll jump over to Europe. They're going to be in turmoil on like every level. And the reason is they've got the EU has, countries going bankrupt. They're bringing in, millions of people that they're having to support completely. And everything is total chaos. As a result, the EU is probably going to crumble and split up, if not completely disappear. So we do have to, those in Europe need to be aware of this and to take their own personal precautions so that they don't have to worry about this quite as much. Okay, now we're going to get into the nasty, ugly stuff as far as the terrorism and all of that. Turkey's probably going to be invading Syria. They're going to be using a lot of drones in Syria to slow ISIS down. France has already got people over there. Britain's going to be sending some troops over there. We're going to have some new forms of technology to track terrorists, which will be really cool. Because of all this other stuff, and because of a few threats here and there, U.S. Is almost going to be battling Russia in Syria and Iraq, unless we get some things changed quickly. Also, there have been these little threats with China, and we need to be careful with them as well. So we're going to have several things going on around arms buildup, ISIS revelations, a lot of things going on, but we're going to have some positive too. So hang on and we'll be right back.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Do you want to be a better communicator? Do you want to better connect with the important people in your life? Do you want to enrich your relationships? If so, join me, Matthew Cooper, on the Positive Control System Show every Wednesday evening at 11 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on OMTimes Radio. I'll meet you there.
Join Elliot Jollish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jollish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jollish Hour. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
This is Terry Van Horn with Healing Light. Tonight we're talking about predictions for 2016. So we've been talking about a lot of different things, a lot of different areas, but, we're wrapping up here with talking about that we are definitely going to have some issues going on in the Middle East with ISIS, with Russia. Everybody's mad at everybody right now. And we're really going to be kind of on the brink of an abyss at this point. So the million-dollar question is, are we going into World War III? I am being told that we are not. And I believe that there is a very significant reason why we are not going into World War III. And that is the additional message that my angels and guides gave me whenever I was putting all of this together today. And here's what they said. Light workers and those on the spiritual path will join forces to start making significant and positive changes on the planet. As a collective force, they will begin manifesting ways to change so quickly that we will be able to literally see it before our very eyes. Now, the Earth has been hinting at a near collapse for a very long time, but now she is demanding our time, our energy, and our respect. Because of the actions of these light workers who are committed to, they came here right now to be here for this. And because of their actions and their work, and anybody else who wants to join in, please, the planet's going to heal. And it's going to help clean up all of the damage that humanity has caused. The sun's going to slow down its sunspots and the flares that it's throwing out. Droughts are going to be resolved much more quickly. And farmers are going to begin seeing a positive increase in their crop production without using GMOs. Now, as more and more people come on board with this entire process, we're going to begin to see a decrease in tensions throughout the world. Now, we're also going to see a slow growth in the economy, okay? And they wanted me to emphasize the word slow. But they remind us that, things don't happen overnight. And, sometimes it takes centuries for things to happen or decades. It's not going to take that. It will happen much more quickly than it generally would in the past. Now, this is the part I love, is that spirituality, as opposed to religion, is going to come to the forefront. Religious leaders are going to begin to accept and teach that we're all one, and they're going to encourage their followers to share in this belief. We know that religion has been such a huge divider that I think, and I keep feeling that religious leaders are going to come on board saying, hey, let's stop all of this. Now, whenever I was looking at predictions and things like that, there were so many of them about, who's going to win the election. And so when I started asking about this, I got an answer. But I also got this, and the angels told me that the next president is going to make some changes to our policies that are going to be good. But basically, they're going to be irrelevant because working with Congress is always a barrier to progress. And there are too many inter-party battles and too many special interests. Now, like I said, I kind of know who's going to win. But what's important is that, this is the best part, the light workers are going to be the ones who control the outcomes for our planet. Each person is going to control the outcome of our planet. It's all about the collective consciousness to decide which direction we go. Do we go to peace and a golden age, or do we go to Armageddon? Now, my preference is the peace and the golden age thing. So I thought I would share some affirmations with you that I'm going to be doing this year. And, let's get these out there and share them so that everybody can do them and we can really expand. Here's the affirmations. I am living and creating an awesome year. I am choosing to love with an expanded heart. I am embracing my strength within. I am moving forward with a focused mind, always in the present. I am so very grateful for all that I have, and I am expressing that gratitude daily. I am making the choice to work with God, the universe, an unlimited source of love and compassion in all that I say and all that I do. I am creating the positive and loving life that I have always desired. Now, you use those, and that's going to be really positive and really powerful. And of course, change it to suit your own words, what you want to accomplish. But the main thing is do it and say it daily. The important thing is that we want to enforce love and peace. How hard can that be? But when we do it, it shifts the energy dramatically for everyone around us. And that's what we need to do now and for the remainder of our lifetimes, not just for this year. Now, I want to let you know some of the exciting things that I've got going on for 2016. One is that I have started doing personal recorded readings again. So you can find those, and I'm doing some new healing sessions, and I'm going to have those online pretty quick. I also have some beautiful crystals on my website. I have some ancient pieces as well as some that are contemporary, as in they've just been discovered, on the page. So if you are interested in any of those, I have several unusual types. I don't have just the same old run-of-the-mill thing on there. I'm also starting the Healing Light Spiritual Academy. Now, this is going to be some mini courses that are like 4 sessions. We're going to have a group healing session, materials, group conference calls, and a certificate. You can also have an optional 30-minute one-on-one session with me to help you totally just top things off. I'll be launching these very soon, but the titles are Manifesting the Life You Deserve, Steps to Achieving Your Dreams. I have Soulmate, Twin Flame, or Toxic Bomb. We know what that is. Psychic Development. You can do this too. Crystals. Create a rockstar life with earth energy. Spiritual Connections. Get in touch with your angels. And Psychic Protection. Do we really need this? So these are some of the classes that are coming up that I'm going to be doing, and I think you'll really enjoy that. I am also going to be at the Austin Metaphysical and Holistic Fair next weekend, January 8th through the 10th. And we'll be doing the predictions, and we'll have healing sessions, readings, all sorts of things, and wonderful crystals to buy. On January the 4th, I'm going to be part of a wonderful summit. It's called the Sacred, Sexy, and Successful Summit. It's online and it's free. And it's going to really help you kick off your year and be powerful. Now, I'm also doing weekly mini classes on Learn It Live. And you can just go on to Learn It Live and look up my name, Terry Van Horn, and you can find the classes that I have offered every week. So there's a lot going on for this year. And, it's going to be exciting. I've got several dates that I've already scheduled to do different events, and I can't wait. I want to finish up with a New Year's prayer that I found. I think it is absolutely beautiful. It is by Abby Willowroot. And I think that it is a wonderful way to end 2015 and to start a brand new, fresh year for 2016. And here is her prayer. May I be a healing energy. May I be benefit to all. May my life enrich others. May I know what matters and live in harmony with nature. I can't think of a nicer way to end the year, to be able to connect with spirit and with nature, and to expand and to grow. Now, I've already started doing some things with all this energy that we've got going on. And let me tell you, it has helped me just bust up some blockages that I've had for quite some time. I've had some huge blockages on writing another book. I know that there are 2 or 3 just waiting to come forward, that something was happening and I couldn't do it. And last night, I sat down, I got away from the computer, the TV, the phone, the iPad, everything. And it was me and a notepad and a pen. Not only did I come up with the subject and the title, I wrote the entire outline for the book, all in about 15 to 20 minutes. These blocks are dissolving, and it's time for us to really start our expansion. That time is now. Everything's been leading up to it, and your angels are telling you this is it. So take some time out over the next several days. Spend time with spirit. Connect with that energy. Connect with nature. And know that your angels are here with you. They're going to stay with you. And they're going to help you so that you can create and manifest a magnificent 2016.